This one is called the pants. Take 8.
My friend Kathy Carroll asked if we yell yoga before every show. And I said, yep.
The best podcast on radio. We
she
all know
listens.
the funniest things happen when we stop taking ourselves too seriously and step out boldly, like Mr. Magoo blindly stepping onto the next swinging
hear that
girder
weird
and
sound?
falling into
Yeah,
an
it's from his
outrageous
end.
jackpot. Your hosts, Daryl and Ed, are about to administer
not the
a
mic.
refreshing dose of laughter and love that will inspire you to step out boldly and experience the funniest things.
Okay, I wore myself
Now,
out.
here are your hosts, Daryl and Ed.
Welcome to The Funniest Thing,
Yeah!
where each week we share stories about how stepping out boldly always leads to better than expected outcomes.
Yes, it does.
I'm Daryl,
And I'm Ed.
and we're broadcasting live from Middle School Studios in downtown Culver City, the heart of Screenland.
That's right.
And today's show, this show is a real benefit to a lot of our listeners.
Yes, it is. What'd you say about it's a positive career move?
This is listening to this episode is
Yes.
it'll actually help you significantly because today's title is Improve Your Credit Score
That's right.
or Improve Your Credit Score.
That's right.
With that- with an exclamation.
Our affluence is secured every time we give credit when credit is due. Giving credit increases our commercial value by making us feel comfortable in our own skin. And who doesn't like that?
Well, and more attractive.
That's right. In every way.
That's right.
And during the second segment, speaking of attractive, Funniest Thing fan Sandy Page returns to read and discuss today's daily word, comfort.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about why we're so excited about this show, shall we?
Well, yeah, because every time we give credit
Yeah.
to any source where we've gotten anything we've received freely, it actually reinforces our belief
Yes.
that the universe is prosperous.
That's right.
Rather than coveting our own ideas and not sharing them, because I
That's
don't want
right.
anyone else to get the advantage of this.
Yes.
Or hearing something that seems very impressive from somebody else,
Right.
or very helpful and beneficial to you and others,
Yes.
rather than just share it as if it's my idea.
Right.
We find that by giving credit where credit is due actually adds to our self-esteem, makes
That's
us more
right.
attractive. And when we don't do it, we're usually doing it out of the fear that there's not enough to go around, and
Right.
we want to make a impression, and add to our credibility. So we think by not giving credit, it'll make me look a little bit more impressive. But the opposite is true.
Yes.
Because even if the people you are sharing the information with don't know where that quote or where that information, or even the idea that you're coveting, came from, you do.
That's right.
And that chips away
Yes.
at our own self-esteem. It actually does more to hurt our self-confidence than boost our self-confidence.
That's correct.
And it's almost like you could breathe. Like Ed and I always love to give credit to all the resources that we get our valuable information from, or the readings that help us.
Yes.
And it makes us feel really good.
That's right.
And-
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and a lot of people think, well, if I share where, the idea or the thought behind it is, it's all from lack, is if I share where I got this from, then people won't think that I'm valuable, that I have my own content. But the opposite is true. People actually are more impressed that you even discovered this,
Yes.
or researched this, or have any awareness of where this came from.
Yes.
People are always more impressed with honesty anyway.
That's so true.
And generosity, which
Yeah.
that's being generous.
That's right. And when we feel good, it's very natural for us to give credit where credit is due. So that's like the first step is always to, because the fear is what's going to tempt us to pretend that we made this up, or not tell people where we got it. So the first thing is to address the fear,
Yes.
get back in touch, realize that everything comes through us. It's like writing songs. I had the same experience Daryl had, which was for me, it was just like, why would I ever fear giving them away or someone's going to steal them? There's a million more where that came from when you know where they're really coming from.
Yeah, we got a great reading to back that up too.
Yeah, so I mean, everyone loves it, and it has enhanced my life when I praise other people, because we really do get more of what we focus on. So it's like a double bonus. The person who I'm praising loves it, and they feel, validated or whatever. They feel seen. They feel like they're part of the party, like when I'm teaching or whatever. And then I get more of that in my life because that's what I'm choosing to focus on.
Even if it's a dead person.
True.
Like, give credit thinking or sneak one by. I know some people that think they could sneak one by and they'll give a quote. And I go, wait a minute. That's Meister Eckhart.
Yeah, right.
Wait a minute.
Right.
I've said, and it kind of makes me feel a little disappointed.
Right, because I think there's a kind of a myth that it's like, if you put your name at the end of something, then it's going to equate you with the great minds of all time by putting your name there. Maybe change the quote a little bit, but it's actually like the great minds of our time, or of any time. They quote the people they got their stuff from.
Right.
What makes them great as part of it is the humility and the ability to praise other people and willingness to share where we get this stuff from.
And before we do the 3 breaths, here's the big benefit of giving credit where credit is due.
Yes.
It reinforces your belief, your faith, so much that by giving credit where you got something or where you heard something that was extremely clever or beneficial to you or lifted you up and you want to share it, now that faith alone, by giving away that freely, giving the credit freely, opens your mind up to receive your own great ideas from the universe.
Yes.
That are assimilated by you, felt by you.
Yes.
So now you could share those. You actually gain more access to great ideas by giving credit for great ideas.
Right. And and part of this whole process is doing some sort of like morning meditation or daily, whenever you do it, so that you really, every day when I connect with the source of where all this stuff comes from, with God, which is who I really am, then it's like, it's easy to give credit, because I myself am in such a state of wonder of how this stuff continues to come through, that I want to share that wonder with everyone else. And so I want to be like, wow, this is amazing. This came through me, or that came through, or I thought about this, or I read this, because it's all such like coming from a state of wonder.
Well, it's also nice to be reassured that the thoughts that we've been thinking, when I see somebody else wrote something similar to what I'm feeling intuitively, it actually reinforces my belief.
Yes.
But
right.
I think we should give them the real secret.
Okay, so here's the secret to it all.
Yes.
Let's take one. We'll just jump right in. We'll take a breath to clear our mind. When I hand out praises, my credit score raises.
When I hand out praises, my credit score raises.
When I hand out praises, my credit score raises.
Thank you, Unity Online Radio Backup Choir.
Oh my God, sounding great today, everybody.
Jumping right in, this is from a book. And this is another thing. When you're living a spiritual life, it doesn't mean you just have to go to the same well. You mean, it must come these, is that a spiritual book? Well, every book is spiritual.
And this goes to something you said a long time ago, and someone told you this, and I'm sure other people have said it, but there's many channels and one source, which is God.
Yes.
It always comes, and that's why giving credit to others is also by like giving credit to God in everyone, because it's all coming from the same place.
And this sums it up perfectly. This is from Paul Arden. He has since deceased. He was one of the greatest art directors, advertising men of our time. And the title of the book is, It's Not How Good You Are, It's How Good You Want to Be.
And you can find it at darylanded.com.
Yeah.
And if you go to the show script for today's show, you'll see the reading from today, or if you go to the reading list, you'll see a link to like Amazon or wherever where you can get that book if you'd like to add it to your collection.
And on this one's called "Do Not Covet Your Ideas," and it says, "Give away everything you know, and more will come back to you. You will remember from school other students preventing you from seeing their answers by placing their arm around their exercise book or exam paper. It is the same at work. People are secretive with ideas. Don't tell them that. They'll take the credit for it." The problem with hoarding is you end up living off your reserves. Eventually, you'll become stale. If you give away everything you have, you are left with nothing. This forces you to look, to be aware, to replenish. Somehow, the more you give away, the more comes back to you. Ideas are open knowledge. Don't claim ownership. They're not your ideas anyway. They're someone else's. They are out there floating by on the ether. You just have to put yourself in a frame of mind to pick them up. And it has a great picture, which our fans watching on YouTube can see. It says the hoarder. She's already reducing her capabilities. And it shows one of those little girls from elementary school not letting us see the answers on her paper.
That's right. That's right. Dude, this is great because I'm just thinking about it. The more we keep ourselves in a receptive space to inspiration, there really is an infinite well to draw upon. So it's like our job, like he's saying, is stay receptive
and give
to
away.
The flow. And part of staying receptive is keeping it circulating. So when it comes in, it's share it enthusiastically. It's always a good idea. There's we found a couple paragraphs from A New Day. It's also on our reading list, DarylandEd.com. There's a couple from the 3rd and 4th of August. There's a couple paragraphs we wanted to read. It says, "Not only do we avoid the temptation to be dishonest by commission, that is taking something that doesn't belong to us, we also avoid dishonesty by omission. If we receive high praise for a job well done, for example, and no mention is made of an assistant's invaluable participation, we speak up rather than passively accept all the credit for ourselves. Sometimes others find our actions surprising or even stupid, but regardless of pure societal pressures, we insist on remaining unwaveringly honest in all our affairs, because for us, compromise means regression and possible disaster." And then the next page on August 4th, it says, "Today we realize that actions and thoughts motivated strictly by self-centeredness can bring us only misery. Our recovery from egomania depends on thinking about and doing what we can for others, rather than constantly worrying about what they can do for us. When we think of everyone as equal and act accordingly, we feel best about ourselves."
And I'm going to wrap it up with this one. Actually, just a line from this book. It's called My Soul and I. It's by Carrie Moss Hawley. It's one of those rare books written in the 20s. It says, "The alpha and omega of life is trust. Trust in the world and the God who made it. Never doubt. Doubt is unscientific. It fails to get results. The dawn of a better day awaits those who trust."
Yes.
And Florence Scovel Shinn in The Game of Life says, "Often fear stands between man and his perfect self-expression. Stage fright has hampered many a genius. This may be overcome by the spoken word or treatment. The individual then loses all self-consciousness and feels simply that he is a channel for infinite intelligence to express itself through. He is under direct inspiration, fearless and confident, for he feels that it is the Father within him who does the work."
Dude, let me add this little piece from this card that
Yeah.
you gave me the other day, because you slipped this into my bag. It's from the Sister Venerable Mother Tekla Merlot, one of the I think like the first what is she, the Mother
sister.
Superior, Pauline,
Yes.
sister, and she said in this prayer, "Let us see to it that our heart is filled with God so as to bring him to souls." And when I thought about that with our show, how do we bring him to souls? Through joyously praising them and appreciating them, because that can sound kind of heavy, right? But then she goes on to say, when our heart is filled with the love of God, then this love necessarily overflows onto the world, which goes perfect with those stories that you're going to share.
I'm going to share a quick story because we only have a few minutes before this segment goes out. And the story that really corresponds to this strongly is when I had my art studio back in New York City.
Yes.
I was living in New York with Lori, and I developed this technique that was unique. It was a style of painting where I was painting with standard pastels,
Yes.
which are the dry, if you're familiar, even if you're not an artist, you know what pastels are.
They're
sort
like
of
adult
chalk.
crayons almost.
Exactly.
Or
Only
chalk.
Chalk,
Right, that's what it is.
Yeah, no oil.
That's what it is.
It's
Chalk.
yeah, it's like chalk, and they're held together. The binder in it, it's actually pure pigment mixed with something that holds it together called gum arabic. Well, I shared a studio with printmakers who worked with wet paper.
Yeah.
And they pass it through the press. So I started experimenting with these pastels on the wet paper.
Right.
And long story short, I started producing these huge paintings
Yes.
working wet with the pastels. I developed this thing with my hands,
Right.
and I loved it because it was ice cold, the water on the floor. I'm finger painting, but they came out these beautiful, crisp, juicy, colorful. They look like oil paintings.
Right.
And when I would tell people how I did it, they were fascinated.
Yes.
I would share it with my friends.
You could put one of those on the website with the show page too,
Yes.
so people could see it.
And you always hope you can get an article in one of these big magazines, sending them stuff, slides, or get a gallery show.
Right.
Well, here's the thing. You throw that in your God box and then you let it go and you just do your business and create the thing that you enjoy doing. And why I'm saying is because a friend of mine, while I was doing these paintings, invited me to meet him and a friend for dinner at a diner.
Right.
No big deal. He said, my friend Stan's going to be there. I said, great. And the topic came up with these paintings I was doing.
Yes.
So Steve said, why don't you tell Stan how you're doing these paintings? And I started sharing the process that I just shared now. And Stan was fascinated. He said, you don't mind telling people this? I said, no, it's great. And he said, well, I'm the editor for American Artist Magazine. And he said, most artists wouldn't want to share their secrets.
Right.
And it was fascinating. You apply these principles and your mind starts to change.
Yes.
And I immediately said to him, I go, it's just the technique. I go, no one can copy my talent, like
Right.
exactly how I paint the picture.
Yes.
And then he
That's it.
said this, he goes, if you wouldn't mind, I'd love doing a feature on this.
Wow.
And you could actually author the piece. And
Yeah.
and of course, it ended up being an American Artist. And it was just a perfect example. And that was one of 3 more articles in American Artist born out of freely giving.
Yes.
Not being covetous. I don't want anyone to know this. I want to be the only artist who can create this way.
Yeah.
And it was just another perfect example of how these laws really do reward us.
Well, that's like what Cliff Simon was saying. Remember, we were sitting in the back, and he was talking about going to auditions.
Yes.
And he's like, the worst thing you could do is try to impress the people.
Oh, yes.
Because we end up cutting off. We're no longer generous. When I do it, I can tell when I'm doing it with musically or whatever. I actually cut myself off from my true nature, which is what good acting, good art, good anything. Creative is really about being generous with who we really are. And then we naturally connect with the people. And, Cliff was saying just because most people, they really want to work with people who feel good to work with,
Yeah.
So when you're generous, you're going to make a better impression with the right, we automatically, not even like just an impression, we connect, and the real connections naturally happen. And all this amazing stuff like your articles in the magazine, they just happen without real effort on our
because
part.
generosity, give it away now.
Give it away now.
Well, it's actually, by being generous,
Yeah.
it's actually reinforces confidence. And the
Yes.
word confidence really means with faith.
Yeah.
It's from the Latin derivative with faith.
Right.
So you really are in faith when you just say, screw it. I'm just going to
Yeah.
be generous in this situation.
Yeah.
I'm not going to worry about getting.
Right.
I'm going to think about giving.
Right.
Sharing how I do this creative
Yes.
process. Or if you're going in an audition, I'm just going to think about being giving to this guy who's recording me right now,
Yes.
the casting director.
Right.
And just be giving, and I'm not going to worry about getting.
Right.
And when you come from that place of generosity and giving,
Yes.
you can't help but be attractive. And people love that. You
That's
become
right.
magnetic to more good.
That's right. That's right. All right. Well, coming up next, Funniest Thing fan Sandy Page, thank goodness, is returning to read and discuss today's daily word, which is comfort. So thank you for listening to Funniest Thing on Unity Online Radio.
And we
What
got
is
some
called the pants.
hot
Take 8.
commentary live.
See what we got. Jill Aspie is a fan of the doggies too. She said, "Yay, the doggies too!" Because we
Oh.
just posted a picture on the Facebook.
With Mr.
to
French.
alert people that we're on the air, and Mr. French is in there. You can't see it, but he was kicking me.
Yeah, it's from behind.
Yeah, he's a character.
He left. He's not even in here anymore.
I know, he's so funny.
He said, "That's it."
That's how station managers get, man.
Yeah, they get
he's
very-
generous with himself.
Yeah, well, and they also don't like to be center stage.
That's right. That's right.
What was I gonna say? You brought up something else. Oh, we got Jill Aspie.
Yeah.
We got our fans on YouTube, which we love you, who are watching
You
during
could tell
the break.
him quickly about that story about how you were.
Oh, that's right.
But make it snappy because we want to get. The
Oh, here she
fullness.
is.
Oh,
We're not gonna see her.
On.
Oh, here she comes.
Oh, here she comes.
Where am I? Hi,
Watch
Jeff.
out, boss! She'll chew you
Okay,
up.
Jeff Comfort's been hoping to see you.
Yes, still
Wait,
on
tilt the
top.
camera down. Oh wait, are you wearing a top?
I am wearing a top.
Oh, darn it. Anyway, it's still good to see you. It's
You guys,
huh?
I can't see you guys.
Hit your little there's a little camera. If you scroll over the Skype picture, you'll see like a little line through a camera. Click on that. Oh no, wait. Jeff's saying you can't see us.
Ta-da!
Don't click through that.
Ta-da!
You
Right.
see us?
Yeah, she's fine. I can see her.
Oh, good. I can see her
Jeff,
too.
I was reading all about you today.
Oh, I know. Today's daily word.
I'm not going to get a grin from you anytime ever,
Never.
am I, Jeff?
Oh, this is how he. That's see.
There it is.
I
He
have to
makes
get gummy
the
for-
he makes the ladies work for it.
That's right.
I know, right?
He holds it, and that's the way he gets them eating out of his hand.
Right. Well, when you look like Jeff Comfort, you can afford to do that.
Brilliant, right? Yeah, it's true. How are you guys?
We miss you. That's how we are.
Yes.
Well, I haven't missed you because I listen to you all the time.
Oh,
Well,
man.
you haven't been posting a lot of pictures lately. When you're with your family, we get a ton. When you're visiting places, we get a ton. And then now it's
Yeah.
back to work and nothing.
That's right.
Nothing. And that's how my life was last week. Nothing. I'm like, oh, I got to go on the show and be positive.
You'll
Oh.
you'll be positive naturally because you're naturally positive even when you
Sure.
think you're not positive.
Yeah, maybe. I like the first segment of your show. It was really good.
Oh, yeah. I got the copy of that magazine up here somewhere.
All right, here we go.
We're coming back. Oh, you ready?
Yeah.
All
You're
right.
listening to Funniest Thing with
was
Daryl
us.
and Ed, the best looking guys on the
Don't be afraid
radio.
to move
If you
around
have
for
a
our
question
YouTube
or comment
listeners.
about today's show, or if you'd like to join in the discussion, friend us on Facebook at Funniest Thing with Daryl and Ed, or email us at funniestthing@unityonlineradio.org. Now, back to Funniest Thing.
All right. Welcome back.
Yeah.
Improve your credit score.
Improve your credit score.
That's right. When I hand out praises,
My credit score raises.
it's true.
That's right. That's the best way to get a good credit score.
And this is the time where we thank our listeners
That's right.
because we have the best listeners in the
I
business.
know. We got one of them coming up. Even in this segment, Sandy Page is going to join us.
That's right.
So that's fantastic. Yesterday we ran into somebody at the conservatory.
Oh,
Remember you were taking a picture of that?
you mean Andy Garcia?
No. The guy with the big blue balls.
Oh, yes. He made us take a picture of him while he was holding his big, indestructible blue balls.
Yeah, that's right. And it turned out that he actually sends these indestructible
Blue balls.
blue balls to Ethiopia because they're soccer balls. And they're for people who play, like these kids who don't have a lot of funds or whatever, access to soccer balls. And they normally play with like trash, like a
Yeah,
ball
balled
or
up
whatever.
trash.
And so he sends these balls that are indestructible over there for them to play. His organization is called Goal
For Ethiopia.
for Ethiopia, GOAL, number 4, Ethiopia.com. And his whoever that was with him, his name is Fru Tebebu.
Tebebu.
Fru Tebebu and Rediate Tekesti, maybe, from her organization, which is actually going to go to Ethiopia to take these indestructible blue balls over there. Here is Ethiopian Diaspora Fellowship.org. And so we wanted to give them a shout out. Again, if you want to support them, you can go to goal4ethiopia.com if you want to support
And we
the
just
cause.
met them having coffee, and they asked me to take their picture, and one thing led to another.
Yeah, and it's such an awesome thing that they're doing, bringing so much joy to people that we figured we would give them a little praise on the air.
Yes. And also, our listeners, thank you for sharing our show with others. We keep getting indications that more and more people are listening.
Yeah.
Also, this is the time where we let you know about our website, DarylandEd.com, where you can find anything, including today's show script with all the little readings and photos and everything, even the YouTube. You could watch from there, the YouTube video.
Yes.
But most important, you wouldn't even know about us or even be able to hear us or ever have met us if it wasn't for one very important individual, and that is...
Tammy's handsome.
Yes, he's good looking too, ladies. And he's our chief engineer, Jeff Comfort. And each week he takes us right into the comfort zone. Yeah. We also like to give a shout out to the prayer line. We both use the prayer line. It's 800 Now Pray or 806. Whoa, he came back.
Oh,
he looped
baby.
around. 800-669-7729. He did that to show off for Sandy Page. Anyway, we use the prayer line all the time.
Yes, we do.
We also use the You Pray app.
Yeah.
I just sent out some prayers for my friend Britton's mom, Mary Lou. And
and our friends over at the Coop.
that's who we wanted to talk about. Yesterday, last week's episode, we told you the story about how I met this woman who's going through a health challenge with breast cancer, and her and her husband owned the local pizzeria shop called the Coop.
Yes.
And Ed and I decided we're going to go there yesterday and have lunch at their place and tell them all that we talked about them on the show, because they were just strangers to us. And remember, every stranger is just a friend you haven't made yet.
That's right.
So we were excited to let them know, and I got there and we saw it was a little disappointing message, but we want to share it out there so everyone could throw positive thoughts towards this. And what we saw, there was a sign on there. They're normally only closed on Monday, but they're also being they're having to close on Tuesday as well. And they made it clear that's because the family's going through a challenge with health right now, and they're dedicated to their business and their customers, and they just hope this wasn't an inconvenience. So we just want to say another prayer for Christina and Mike.
Yes.
And for restoration and health and vitality and prosperity.
Yes.
And we can't wait to hear how things turn out for them. And we'll definitely get a picture with them to post on our website for everybody to see.
You know, I used the You Pray app also this week because on Sunday we were at the end of this family gathering. I was leaving, and all of a sudden my blood boiled over. I got like snippy with my mom, with some. And
well, sometimes when we're family, it's like packing a musket.
Yeah, and it had
because we don't say anything. It's like,
well, there was a lot of different packing going on for like weeks. It was like
you were a packing plant.
Yeah, for like a couple months, like 6 weeks, whatever it was. But so, and it didn't last long. But and it's like I didn't want to just call. I don't know if she was ready to talk to me immediately after that, even though it wasn't a terribly big deal, but it taught me a lot about myself too, about this very show, like comforting and what we're going to come and talk about, because how important it is to take care of myself so that I don't end up leading with the chin or taking it out on someone else, and it was like, so then I learned a lot since then. But one of the things I did to keep everything like clearing is I used the You Pray app, sent in a prayer. And you know what I realized too, because I had gotten caught up in a lot of stories in my head and judgments and stuff, I was not giving my mother the praise that she has due for how amazing of a person she is, and how, like I am here because of so much that she gave to me. And that's been a lot of the healing process for me, of just like letting go on my end, and realizing like, I love my mom and I love all these different parts of her. And the more I because it's like I got caught up in these stories around family and stress and I lost sight of who I was really dealing with. And that's like so easy to do in any part of our lives.
It's hardest to give praise to the people closest to us. Kind of brings up this weird feeling of I don't need to say anything. It's embarrassing. It's
Yeah.
weird. But no, as soon as you give praise when you think it,
Yeah.
to like when I say something kind to Lori that I'm thinking,
Yeah.
I can't believe how scary it is to
Right.
say. And then as soon as I say it, I'm like, and then she lights up like a flower, you know,
Right.
she blossoms.
Totally.
And I'm like, why was this so hard for me to just say?
Right.
I've known her all these years.
Right.
And I'll freely give praise to strangers.
That's right. And you could start like I've been doing in my prayer life, like just start when I'm sitting quietly or meditating or whatever, and just in my own head, just clear out any negative focus with anyone and everyone, because this one thing, it's like I just learned that holding on judgments and resentment is just toxicity inside my own head. And I was getting detached from who I really am, and that sucked.
Okay, I got a great challenge that I'm going to use on myself. I just
All right.
thought of it, and I think our listeners. It's this. You know, for me, I have no problem bragging about Lori or sharing all the wonderful
Right.
things she's done with my friends.
Right.
But I rarely tell her all this exciting way I view her,
Oh God, yeah.
like I tell my friends.
Yes.
So here's the challenge. I'm going to do my best to share with Lori the
Yes.
enthusiasm I think and feel about her certain, things
Yes.
that she's done, and tell her, and I'll report back next week. And I
Yes.
hope you listeners try to do the same with those people who are close to you, because I
Yeah.
know it'll be a phenomenal
Oh
experience.
my God, it's amazing. It changes everything because it rewrites every story
Oh.
you ever had, because you don't have to work through all the other stuff to get to it. When I just start with praise, oh my God, I've had such remarkable experiences, so I'm going to do the same
I'm
thing.
not going to be a withholder.
That's right. Speaking of, we can no longer withhold today's guest. It's time for the Daily Word segment with Sandy Page.
Yes,
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
we have the best listeners in the business and the best looking listeners in the
The
business.
best looking
Yeah.
listeners on the radio.
Yes, we do.
That's right.
How are you?
Great to see you. We're so happy you're back
Yes.
on the show
I'm
with
so
us.
Excited to be back. Very excited.
Good. So let's just jump into the Daily Word and go from there.
All right. So the daily word for today is comfort. I am secure in the comforting love of God. Children have an inherent desire for comfort. Before they are able to speak, they cry out for touch, nourishment, and protection. Although I'm no longer a child, I sometimes still need comforting. I need to feel safe and loved, especially in difficult times when I may feel lost, sad, or afraid. I yearn for the reassurance that I am not alone. God gently reminds me to turn within where comfort is always available. I release any sadness, fear, or loneliness. They have no place in my life. In the silence, I feel God's love deep within my heart. My inner child is comforted. I am safe and loved, strong and courageous. I stay in touch with spirit and am at peace in good times and in tough times. I am secure in the comforting love of God. And the passage says, let the little children come to me, Matthew 19:14.
Yeah.
Ooh, good one.
Yeah, that is so good. I mean, that's the one of the things that I took from my experience, like with my mother, was that, and it helped me to be compassionate to everyone, which is, I acted out of like some anger because I inside was not feeling comforted. I was feeling disconnected, and I had lost touch with my connection. So really, that like what my experience was like an indication of my own feeling of disconnection. And at first in the moment I was thinking almost like she was the one who was disconnected, but later I realized that was just something that I was already feeling. I was all the things that I could have, pinned on her as I was driving home and reflecting, and then later just reflecting, I was just thinking, man, everything that was just building up in my head about my mother was actually things judgments that I was holding against myself, my own sense of separateness. And it was just like, yeah, that helps me when I see other people who are maybe acting out of fear or anger or whatever. They're, it's like, they're still connected to God, but they just don't recognize it at that moment,
Oh, yeah. I read this. I pulled this up yesterday so I could practice reading it while I was meditating in the yard. And I went, and I've been kind of slacking off on meditation and readings. And man, do I notice it. So when I pulled this up yesterday, I'm reading it going, oh yeah, all I have to do is go within. Oh yeah. But a lot of times I'll say, I should meditate. And when I say should on anything, that means I'm not going to. So, but that's what I had in the back of my head. And so it was like, I'm going to meditate. So I went in the backyard and I did that. And it is a different thing. Like all the same things are still going on, but I can handle it in a whole different manner, and I can release all, like what Ed was saying, all that negativity. I don't have to have in my head, around me, the energy, anything.
Yeah.
So
It
it,
changes
I mean, it
everything.
really benefited me too, because then I went to work and I was in this great mood and I could pass that along to others, and
Right.
I made a lot of money. So that kind
Well,
of,
Yeah.
of course, because you had that spirit flowing through you, and it makes us
Yes.
attractive.
Yes.
I was
oh,
just,
it is. Yes.
I was thinking, when I
Definitely.
first learned to meditate, I remember, and it was through David McClure, who's been a guest here. He was the first person who did a guided meditation with me back 30 years ago.
Yeah, well, actually, we're about to put the flare up to get him back on the show. So.
Yes, we are. But what happened was I started talking to my friend Mike Dugan, and I was like, everything's changed, but nothing's changed. And on a daily basis, I'll feel myself going, I got this to do, I got that to do. And then I'll meditate, and my itinerary hasn't changed. My wife hasn't changed. My house hasn't changed.
That's right.
And that's what they like when they would say intoxicated with spirit. It's true, because it's almost like after I meditate, it's like I could be so irritated with someone, then I meditate, and then I'm like, I love you, man. Just like if I drank a half a
Oh, God,
bottle
yeah.
of bourbon, I could be standing next to the guy I resent the most, but after that, I'm like, I love you, man.
Right.
Only this really does transform us, where just drinking to get to that
Well-
place doesn't really transform me from the inside out like,
Well, we always
like
say
meditation does.
the transformation too is just realigning with what's already really
True.
going on. It's like we can have these I can have these like surface stressful dreams, because we're all like dreaming our own reality in a way. We're all together in it, but we can have like this scary little dark
Yes.
dream going on, or we meditate and we open up to the bigger
reality.
divine one that is so inclusive, and the light shines through us. We praise other people.
Yeah.
That's what sucked about what happened with me and my mom, is that I love my mom, and for a moment I lost sight of that whole reality, and so it was such a blessing in the end, now that I've been praying and doing all this stuff, because I'm like sometimes when you feel the contrast of believing really in like a super dark negative dream, like just fully buy into it for a moment, that the contrast of that like shot me back into the next day or the day after. I was meditating and I realized either God is real, or either all those dramatic stories, whether it's the news or whatever, are real, or God is real.
Oh my
But
God.
if God is real, none of that other stuff has any grounding in reality. There's no separation. There's no real lack. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing to be in despair about ever.
I got good news
Boom!
for you. He's all excited.
I
He's
love
fine.
it. I love it.
Yeah.
This is
love it.
funny. Did you ever read Webster's definition of salvation?
No, I have not.
We just think it's something like crazy Baptist stuff. Well, it's not, ladies and gentlemen. This is the definition of salvation. You
Let's hear
ready?
it.
I
I'm
wrote
so
it down
ready.
in my book.
I am so ready.
This is my handwriting. So it says, salvation, according to Webster, is liberation from clinging to the phenomenal world of appearance and final union with ultimate reality. That's
Wow.
even in Webster's dictionary, it's saying
That's
that
it.
when we feel bad and we feel constricted, restricted, we feel full of doubt.
Yeah.
That's just the
Clinging to
phenomenal
the-
world of appearance.
Yes.
And that's not reality. That
Right.
salvation is actually, it's the final union with ultimate reality.
Yeah, and it's funny because that word "final" used to me mean some point where like when I die or something. But this is like
No, it means
it's final because in this very moment, whoop, every illusion is gone.
And you feel great.
Yes.
And then you make a lot of money waiting tables.
That's right.
Yeah, because it just flows right through you. you know?
Right.
And it was like what Ed was saying before, being disconnected, before you were with your mom. I mean, that is so when I'm disconnected, it's
Yeah.
like it's just me. It's just the negativity. It's just that false sense
Yes.
of ego weirdness going on, and it's not gonna. Nothing works that way.
Oh my
Nothing
God.
works that way. And even when if I don't meditate before I go to work, I find myself getting annoyed at little things that
Oh.
people say or do.
Yeah.
My customers, and they're just the same people that I've liked the
Yes.
whole time, you know.
Yeah.
And of course, they could see that irritation. I wear stuff on the
Me
outside.
too.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so-
this is all indicative of also who was it? Emmett Fox calls the devil's last ditch.
Yes.
And because so much good, and I'm really seeing it now in this moment. So much good has been happening in my life. Like it's like this stuff that I've been holding on to. It has to go in order for me
To move
to
forward.
move forward and live in the God reality that is now. That's already here. How good it already is. In order for me to be where I am and fully enjoy it, I had to look at that. And so I think it was, who was it that said sometimes dynamite is necessary? I think it was Florence or someone said, Florence Scovel Shinn or someone said that. This is like, even though it was small and some people wouldn't even think twice, but for me to have that experience with my mom was kind of like a little bit of dynamite, to blow up this stuff that I had been holding on to for a long time. And I've learned so much as a result of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And I have that with family, and family is the heart, like you were saying, Daryl. Sometimes that's the hardest.
Yeah.
Love them.
The good news is
They're
too,
listening.
God. Another big thing I learned is, with God we're never unworthy. It doesn't matter what we did, what I did. It's how quickly can I forgive myself and let myself get right back into the flow, because every other story is nonsense.
I had this in my head last night, and I meditated on that very thing, as I had to remember that. And sometimes
Yes.
it's just getting back to remembering, and watching your show and then re-listening to your episodes and seeing them on YouTube again is really good for me, because I need that reminder all the
Yes.
Oh
time.
yeah,
yeah.
me too.
Yeah.
And then in the readings that we all do, and
Yeah.
I have to have it.
All right, I guess that's it. We're ready to go to our next segment. And one last thing, though, to let our listeners off the hook, because the tendency when you go through these things, I was thinking when you were telling the story about your mother,
Yeah.
or any of these things, we start thinking, well, how much longer am I going to have to do this? Well, it's not doing it and how much longer. It's actually like you're always growing to the next level,
Yes.
to a brighter horizon,
Yes.
to a higher level every time we go through these. It's not just, oh, is this me still?
Nah.
No. With every one of these mistakes, with every one of these transformations, with every time we let go and discover one of these things, these little things that are causing resistance, we're moving up. We're
Yeah.
not going down, and we're not remaining the same.
That's exactly right. From the outside, people mostly see love. That's all they see in us. And wow, you were going through something. So, all right. Thank you, Sandy Page.
Thanks, you guys. It was great to be here again. Really
Yes.
great.
All right. Coming up after the break, joke of the day, listener mailbag, and more. So thank you for listening to Funniest Thing on Unity Online Radio. This one is called The Pants.
All right.
Wow. Like, can I just say, wow?
Well,
Yeah?
And I watched this over. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I really needed that. Last week was not a thrill in my head.
Uh-huh.
On the outside, it was like, yeah, everything's fine. But in my head, it was, oh my God.
And isn't it amazing? Once you get to the next week, you can't even remember how painful the last week was.
Thank God.
You know
It's
what?
like, was it really that bad? I don't like.
The only thing
It's
that
so
reminds
good.
me- The only thing that reminds me of how painful it was is self-pity. It's
Yeah,
like,
you-
remember how bad it was. And, out the door, I cannot stand seeing self-pity in others, because I don't even like, it makes, in my own self, yuck.
Yes.
It does
That
not
could be a
work.
bad downfall.
It's
of my life.
horrible.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been there myself. It's terrible.
Well, and even when I say to people at work, is like, well, I'm kind of in a low energy mood today. Like my customers, they'll go, "You're never in a low energy mood," and it's like, that's because I'm a great actress.
Yes.
Well,
But it
thank
was
you.
really good to hear your show. I mean, you guys had, man, this was chock full.
Oh,
I'm
thanks.
so glad I got to be here.
Fantastic.
I get to see Jeff. Even Jeff looked interested. I was
Wow.
really, I know.
People
He
are going to
grinned
want to
once.
see more
I
of
saw it.
Jeff. We'll see you later.
Bye
All
bye.
right, guys.
Talk to you soon.
See
Thank you.
soon.
All right.
Bye, Jeff.
Now, We got our exciting instant emails. We got Yugozi. We got to throw out a prayer for Kirky.
Yes.
And one of the stories that our YouTube people are going to hear was I was telling Ed about how years ago I was applying for a rental place.
Yeah.
And I finally came across a place that had everything I wanted on my
Yeah.
list. And it was the exact price. And it was an open house for the rental. And there was many people filling out the applications.
Yes.
And there was one, we're coming back. You'll have to hear about that later.
We now return to the funniest thing. Here are your hosts, Daryl and Ed, the best looking guys on the radio.
Okay, we're back.
Yes.
Welcome to the third segment of Improve Your Credit Score.
Yes.
Because when I hand out praises, my credit score raises.
That's right. That's right. Should we do a quick uplifting reading, and then we'll talk about that. We want to make sure everyone knows about the cruise.
Oh, we got a big Yugozi cruise for our listeners.
We actually got a quick. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say we got the resource that email that I got from Universal Life, the big reveal, Universal
big
Life
reveal.
Churches. All right, so this one's from 365 Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes. DarylandEd.com is where you can find our reading list and the show scripts that have all the readings from today's show. And it says here, so where should we start here? It starts by saying, have you ever really tried having confidence in the Spirit? Have you ever experimented with your own mind to see if you could come to a place where you really believe there is good enough to go around? I thought this was perfect for giving credit. Possibly we have been holding our bowl of acceptance and our chalice of life upside down, so even the fruit and the wine of Spirit cannot be poured into it. Yet the windows of heaven must forever be open. So he goes on to say, today I open the windows of my own soul, so that the windows of heaven may pour into my experience a blessing greater than I am able to receive. Nor would I withhold this blessing from others, for as surely as it comes to me, just as surely will it go forth multiplied and increased to heal and help, to bless and enrich and gladden others. And it says, this is my day, this is my heaven, this is my life, and this is my God, and in him I will put my trust.
Give it away now.
Yes, give it away now. And just real quick, I found an email that you might like to look into. Many people don't know this about Daryl and I, but we actually are ministers
Yes, we are.
from the Universal Life Church.
And I have a 100% success rate with my wedding ceremonies.
That's right.
All those couples are still married.
Mine too. I married my brother and sister-in-law, and you married, how many couples have you married?
I married Kia and her husband, and
Yeah.
oh God, it's been so long ago. Another
Yeah.
couple here in Culver City.
Yeah. So that is a little known fact that we are actually
Casey Dugan, that's his name.
Casey Dugan. That's right. And let's see, where did that email I got yesterday go? Anyway, it's from ulcseminary.org. ULC, like Universal Life Church. seminary.org. And one of them, it was something, I think it's called Friendly Words, is one of the things you can subscribe to. And as soon as I subscribed, I got this. This is something that everyone loves to hear. Hi, Ed. In case nobody has told you yet today, you are a fantastic person. Whether you feel it or not, you get stronger, smarter, and more amazing every day. There's no point in fighting it, Ed. It's just part of being you. Keep up the good work, Amy. And again, that's ulcseminary.org. We can put that in the show script.
Yeah, those are great messages to receive.
Yes.
Real quick, we just want to send a quick prayer out to our friend Kirk Chelson. He
Yes.
just had a lot of exciting stuff happen in his life. And you know, every time we have exciting, great things happen, it
Yeah.
brings more opportunity for fearful things to come up.
Right. Well, you got something great coming up as well.
Oh, yes, I do.
There's only 2 more days to register for it, so tell them what it is.
It's the Ugozi Mastermind Cruise, leaving here Los Angeles October 9th, coming back on the 12th. It's a quick little getaway.
Yes.
And it's put together by Larry Broughton, who's been a guest on our show. And it's going to be masterminds over the course of the 3 days, along with a lot of downtime. And it's all for only $695. So you're getting the benefit of a lot of positive coaching. And if you're a Funniest Thing fan, and I'm serious about this, if you're a Funniest Thing fan and you register for this, and it ends on the window to
Friday at noon, right?
Fri-
Or which is the August 7th at noon.
at noon. It's only $6.95, like I mentioned.
Yeah.
And you can go to ugozi.com/cruise.
Yeah, ugozi.com is YOOGOZI.
That's correct. And this is my promise to any Funniest Thing
Yes.
fan. What I'm excited to give to you if you come along is there's going to be a lot of downtime. We're going to go to Ensenada.
Yeah.
So we're going to have the whole day in Ensenada. We're going to start off with a guided meditation, which I'm going to lead, and then we're going to come back later for a mastermind session. But I will guarantee you, I will personally enjoy hanging with you as a fan of Funniest Thing. We'll all hang out together.
Right.
You'll be my friends that I haven't
For
met
life,
yet.
dude.
Yeah, we'll
Ask Eric Varndell, who's a past guest on our show.
who came out here.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So it'll be a wonderful experience. I can guarantee it. You'll also get a free copy of Larry Broughton's book,
Flashpoints.
Flashpoints.
That's right. Let me ask you this. Have you heard of the young man named Chuck who bought a horse from a farmer for $250?
No, what happened?
Well, the farmer agreed to deliver the horse the next day, and the next day the farmer drove up to Chuck's house and said, "Sorry, son, but I have some bad news. The horse died."
And Chuck replied, "Well, then just give me back the money."
The farmer said, "Can't do that. I went and spent it already."
Okay, then just bring me the dead horse.
"What you gonna do with him?"
I'm going to raffle him off.
"You can't raffle off a dead horse."
Sure, I can. Watch me. I just won't tell anybody he's dead.
Well, a month later, the farmer met up with Chuck and asked, "What happened with that dead horse?"
I raffled him off. I sold 500 tickets at $5 a piece, and I made a profit of $2,495.
Well, didn't anyone complain?
Just the guy who won, so I gave him his $5 back.
Whoa! Yeah! Who's that coming up the walk?
Finally, Gabby the Postal Pitbull. Speaking of Gabby the Postal Pitbull, you could see her laying on her bed.
That's right.
Before the show, and we got a couple live comments already on that picture from our Facebook fan page.
Jill Aspie said, what'd she say?
Yay, the doggies too.
That's right. And then we got Jeff Comfort's not even he's in his home studio today. So we got dogs on Jeff Comfort's end and dogs on our end. So here's another piece of mail that we got.
Gabby, give me that.
You can get a mail to us just from DarylNed.com. There's a contact page. So This one says, from Chris Schwann.
Woo!
So heard your show this morning as I was walking and then laughed my butt off with the provolone mantra, which was, if it smells like provolone,
I leave it the heck alone.
Then I had two great ones myself I wanted to share. If it tastes like your mom's lasagna, then the hand of God is upon you. That is for Ed's Italian heritage, and here is what rang true for me. If it tastes like green smoothie, and she says, I make the best. So if I taste like my green smoothie, then love is moving through me. And I imagine it's moving through her quite well.
I was gonna, that green smoothies will do that to you.
And she said, just got off the phone with Christine Robom, and we are both praying so heavily about going on the cruise with you and Larry.
Wow.
She was going to write to you too. Fantastic. I might even incorporate your provolone mantra into my yoga classes for the breathing.
Oh, they're gonna love that.
That's right. That's right. You got any other funniest things?
The only quick end to this little story, which the listeners, if you're listening, it's also on our YouTube page. I started the story during the break, but I actually came upon when I was looking for a place, the perfect place, at the perfect price. It was everything I could imagine and more in a rental property for myself at the time. And it was filled with people. It was an open house. They were all filling out applications. And an Asian guy who was with me about the same age, he was just another person there, started to leave. And I said, where are you going? And he said, well, there's so many people filling out applications. I probably don't have a chance, you know?
Yeah.
And I said, no, fill it out. You never know who's going to get this place. Fill it out anyway. You might get lucky.
So instead of elbowing him out, because you could have been nervous with all those people, you actually were generously praising him, encouraging him to go for it.
Instead of going, oh, good, one less competition. But in God's universe, there is no competition. Sure enough, at the end of the week, I get a call, and they were offering me the place. by
Oh my
being
God.
generous instead of covetous.
That's right.
It's just amazing. This stuff really works, ladies and gentlemen.
Dude, this stuff shows how joyous God really is, right?
Yes.
I mean, you've heard that ancient hymn, haven't you? Did they sing it in the churches you went to?
I don't know. Lay it on me.
Jesus Christ was a bullfrog, a very good friend of mine.
We tried to understand every word he said, and we helped him to drink his wine. Yeah! He always had some mighty fine wine, singing joy to the world. Woo! To all the boys and girls. Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea. Joy to unity. Burn out.
Come on.
That's right.
Where is it?
It's here. Hey, visit DarylNet.com to find easy links to everything we do, including the Funniest Thing podcast on iTunes, our YouTube
Sandy
page,
Page!
our Twitter feed at DarylNet, and the Funniest Thing fan
Ugozi.com.
page on Facebook. Yes!
Points!
And come to the Ugozi.com Mastermind
Singing
Cruise.
Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea. Yeah.
Joy to unity. Woo!